Okay, this is DJ Luke. We have electronic music and an inside view on everything SBU. Let's take a look over here. Just trying to get everything going over here. So, what we have here in WUSB Stony Brook, being Women's History Month, I want to highlight two industrious, intelligent women. Today we have Rebecca Heyman. Am I saying that right?
Yes, Rebecca Heyman, that's right.
Also known as Becca. She's the entrepreneur baker behind Bake It Like Becca, and she's trying to bake the world a happier place. She's a senior undergrad here at Stony Brook. Now, what we also have here today, and later on in the show, we have Laura Martirano. Martirano, I said that right. She works for FSA, right, like the next door neighbor over there. I'm really happy to have them both as guests, and I'm so excited you brought treats. And we're going to be getting to those treats and tasting those delicious treats, and we're going to be doing a flavor profile and things like that. So let me take this down, and we're going to get right to it. So first up, what do we have here? We're gonna get right into Becca. Okay, so Becca, you grew up on Long Island, correct?
I did, yeah. Born and raised right in Miller Place, about 25 minutes away from here.
Oh, nice, Miller Place. And why did you choose to come to Stony Brook?
Definitely a lot of reasons. I mean, first of all, amazing school. And actually, fun fact too, my entire family went here. So both my siblings went here undergrad. My sister actually recently graduated with her MBA here. And both mom and dad went here also. So it was kind of like a no-brainer to come to Stony Brook.
Wow. And what are your career aspirations? You know, in terms of what's your study, of course, you're studying right here?
Sure. So I've been studying business here at the College of Business with a specialization in marketing. So I love things all strategic and creative. If I could pursue baking in the future, that would truly be a dream of mine.
That's really awesome. Now, do you have goals of opening up a bakery or anything like that?
I would absolutely love it, to be honest with you. I think that'd be so much fun. I get so much fulfillment out of it. I mean, it's not only like a really creative outlet, but it's just so fun for me. And I think when it comes down to it, just being purely happy when I'm doing something is just so important to me in my future. So if I'm able to pursue baking and do that, like, win-win.
Now, I've noticed on your social media, by the way,
Yes.
which is Bake It Like Becca, okay, for everybody out there, she does give money to charity.
I do.
So I like that your company does that you started up. Now, I saw on your social media that you have these artistic cake creations.
I do.
Very, very,
Thank you.
I just think it's beautiful the things you do. Now, you know what it made me realize about baking?
What?
Is baking is like one part art. Mm-hmm. It's one part math.
Absolutely.
And then it's like one part chemistry. 'Cause
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You're a chemist, really. What other skills do you think go into baking?
Patience. Definitely patience.
Right.
When I first started doing this, I don't even consider myself a pro now, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm learning every single day. It's just one of those hobbies that keeps me on my toes, and that's why I love it so much. And I feel like there's never a point where I'm going to be stagnant. Like, I'm always going to be learning. But patience is definitely key, because when I first started out, there were a lot of baking fails. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, baking fails on Pinterest, but, like, that was definitely me.
It's like, this is what it's supposed to look
yeah,
like,
and
this
it
is
just
what I
did
picked.
not turn out that way. But yeah, I love that I get to learn and I get to grow with this.
I know another part that goes into baking. It's love.
Oh, for sure. That's the secret ingredient. Not so secret anymore, but...
You could tell when love goes into baking. And I could tell, by the way, that you bake with love. I really
try.
can.
I definitely do. Thank you.
You know, I just want to say, like, I was never a big bakery person on Long Island. And then I went to Brazil over the summer. And the bakeries there are so much better, I feel. Like, I've been in other
Really?
parts of the world, and I feel like the baking is on another whole level.
Wow. I guess that's an excuse for me to go travel now.
I don't know. Have you been, even within the United States, what cities do you think have the best bakeries?
I feel like New York City
Yeah.
is definitely a hub for sure.
Okay, what bakery in New York City do you think is your favorite? Would you say
I don't
Magnolia's
even know.
or whatever
Magnolia's is amazing. I'm definitely like a Buddy the Cake Boss kind of fan too.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a
You know,
Food
I went
Network
to
judge.
that
Yeah.
place. That I think it's the place that does the Cake Boss. And
Yeah,
I went
that's
and
him.
I had a cupcake there,
Uh-huh.
and I thought it was dry.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know. Maybe it was sitting around for a little while. You know what I mean?
Maybe. You never know.
So, in terms of the world, you haven't traveled that much to experience
No,
some
I have
cooking
not,
outside.
unfortunately.
Now, do you cook, by the way?
No, that's so funny that you ask that. A lot of people ask me that. Baking and cooking are like two totally different beasts. Like cooking, I feel like you can just like go for it kind of thing. Baking is like super precise. It's totally different.
Yeah.
I like to
You're
like
saying
dabble.
baking is a little bit more loose. in a
No,
sense.
I think cooking is,
Oh,
to be
cooking
honest.
is more
Yeah,
loose.
I think
Oh, okay.
baking's more precise, like the science part,
It
like
is.
the chemistry that
From
you're
what
talking
I
about
hear,
before.
it's like
yeah.
if you put a little too much extra baking soda,
yeah, the whole
it
thing
changes.
is just like totally
Right.
different. Yeah.
So when you measure everything at home, do you have like certain do you use certain tools at home that you're saying I can't use anything else? Like these are your
Absolutely.
special ones.
Yes.
So
So,
what do you-
I am a huge Wilton fan. So that's a brand of baking
okay.
tools. I use their stuff all the time. So they're measuring cups, and you have to be like super precise when you get all of those ingredients in a baked good.
So I love these cooking shows. And my favorite is Master Chef, by the way.
Nice.
And I love Gordon Ramsay. I think he has a great personality, and he's great with the kids.
He
so they have
is.
Master Chef Junior. And have you seen Master Chef Junior?
I haven't. I've seen the kids shows on the Food Network. That's more
Right.
like where I learn from.
Oh, okay. Because I really love those kids. Are first of all really intelligent.
amazing.
I could tell they're really rich kids because they have traveled the world. I mean, like you have to come from a rich family to have like that sort of experience, and they know exactly what to do.
They're
They must have
crazy
sort of
talented.
training or
Absolutely.
something. Did you ever have any kind of training for cooking?
I haven't. This has been like a home baker kind of journey. So I really just kind of started randomly 3 years ago by watching the Food Network. This is really where it all
Really?
came from.
How,
yeah.
how many years ago?
3.
3? See, I was
Yes.
going to ask you, how long have you been? I figured
Yeah,
you'd
so
an
it's
easy
when I was
bake
in
oven.
college.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, yeah. I wish I had an easy bake oven. I kind of have one now, even though I have a real oven. But yeah, started 3 years ago. I kind of was just stumbling upon different channels on the TV. Landed on the Food Network for the first time ever. Never saw it ever in my life.
Okay.
And there was
Which
this,
show were you watching?
It was called Farmhouse Rules. It's this woman, Nancy Fuller. She bakes cakes. She was baking a checkerboard cake, and then I wanted to bake that cake randomly, even though I only baked like brownies up to that point. I don't know what compelled me, but it kind of started this crazy journey where I just wanted to like experiment with baking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What celebrity chef or baker inspires you? Would you say?
I would say Duff Goldman.
I don't know who.
You don't know him?
No.
Okay. So there is this like new Food Network like show between him and the Cake Boss guy. And they're both known for making like these super elaborate cakes. And I just think he is so good. He works with actually kids on those baking shows, and like he's just awesome.
Oh my god.
Super talented.
When I watch these kids shows, I say I don't have kids right now, but when I do, I want to train my kid to cook at an early age. That
You
way,
should.
that way I have like a trained like chef in the house at all
Right.
times.
You
Isn't
don't
that a
have
good
to
idea?
Make dinner. Yeah, you're good.
Really?
Set for life. Yeah.
So all it takes is you just have to train your child to cook really
Absolutely.
well, and I think it makes them appreciate tastes. It makes them appreciate like food because I notice a lot of kids these days they'll be very picky. All they eat is nuggets or spaghetti, and it's like, come on, like open up your mind a little. I think cooking it opens up your mind. I think the
Definitely.
tastes. I think culturally, if you ever like, for example, what's your background culturally? Or
I'm German.
do you have like the strudels, right? I mean, there's those culture and tradition in baking.
Definitely.
Have you ever been to German? Out east is a German bakery.
Is there? I actually haven't been to one.
Oh my god!
I'll put it on my list.
I forget the name of it. It's someone in the audience probably knows.
Okay. I'll do some
WUSB audience knows. So, random question, Becca.
Sure.
Because you like sweets.
I do.
And what's ironic is later in the show we have the campus dietitian. So perfect combination, right?
Definitely.
Hopefully it's not a
Keeps us
conflict of
balanced,
interest.
right?
But you know what? You both have something in common. It's the love of food and the love of tastes. And, I'm sure, Laura, you could get on mic for a second. I'm sure you have a sweet tooth, right?
Yeah, I have a large sweet tooth. Just I have it in moderation.
Okay. So this is I'll ask this question to both of you. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Or what's your favorite? How about let's say sweet? It doesn't have to be Halloween candy.
Well, I immediately thought when Halloween candy corn.
Candy
which
corn?
is, I know, it's such a contentious issue, I feel like, because people either absolutely love it or they hate it.
Right.
I'm so in love with it. It's like my
Okay.
guilty pleasure.
But what in terms of sweets? Let's say a dessert. What's your favorite dessert? would
Ice
you say?
cream.
What flavor?
Vanilla. I'm a purist.
Oh, quite the purist with no toppings. You're saying?
I mean, I'm a whipped cream girl too. I mean, but that's as funky as I get.
Interesting. I personally like my Halloween candy is Mounds, with the
Okay.
coconut, and because
Yeah.
a lot of kids don't like it, so I'll take it from their, I'll
That's so
steal it
true.
from them.
It's like the reject.
But I
candy.
mean, in terms of like, I love dark chocolate, like 70%. I like chocolate covered pretzels,
Yes.
and I like, this is a weird one. It's not weird, but I'm just addicted to trail mix. And in a way, I think that's dessert in some ways because sometimes it's
Well, it has the chocolate in there, and it has
Has
the sweet. But
Right.
we'll get into all of that.
yes. And we're gonna get and Becca, you're gonna play the game with us. We're gonna be doing different
nice.
tastes a little later.
Oh, good.
But before we do that taste, we're gonna play your little. We're gonna do a taste test with your stuff
Okay,
pretty
cool.
soon. But before we do that, I wanted to. Oh, by the way, do you do holiday-inspired like cakes and cupcakes, like for
absolutely.
Halloween, Christmas, St. Patty's, Easter?
Definitely.
That must be fun.
It's so much fun. It definitely helps with the creativity factor. I mean, like I made conversation hearts, cookies for Valentine's Day, so definitely getting creative when I can.
So I have a game for both of you, okay?
All right, cool.
So the game goes like this. I created 20 of my own flavors for cupcakes or cookies.
Okay.
And I want you to grade them on like a 1 to 10, okay, rating. And you could be honest. My feelings won't get hurt if you don't like my combination. But these are, and you could really take these to heart in terms of your future cooking. Okay, so we'll go through 20, but it'll go through fast, okay? Here we go. First one. Lemon blueberry cookies or cupcakes. So it would be lemon and then like instead of raisins, blueberries. What do you think of that one? What would you rate that one?
I would give that a 7.
7?
I'll go with a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, peanut butter banana bread cupcake.
I give it a 10.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think I would also. That's like
Isn't that a good combination? Peanut butter and
Yeah.
banana.
Yes.
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, key lime pie cupcake.
I would give that a 9.
9? Okay.
Yeah.
I love
9.
key lime pie. That's one of my... Okay. Okay, this is where it gets... I have some interesting ones in there. Rum and Coke cupcake. I don't know where you...
I
You know
feel
what I mean?
like a
Because they make rum
6.
cake. They make rum cakes.
Yeah.
So maybe rumming like a
I've
Coke
used like
flavor?
a rum extract before. It's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So I give that like a 6, 6.5.
It's pretty creative,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's definitely different.
And on that like drink kind of cocktail sort of flavor, I was thinking mint mojito cupcake.
Oh, see, there you lost me.
I-
I would give that a 2. I'm not a fan.
Okay. All right, peach cobbler cupcake.
I'll go 8.
8 on that?
Yeah, 8, 9.
Okay, this is okay. I have another interesting one. I love IPA beer. The flavor of it, I used to not like really love so much, but I began to, that's all I drink now is IPA in terms of beer. Now, what about an IPA beer batter flavor cookies or cupcake?
That sounds intense.
It's
feel like that'd
intense,
be
but
kinda
you never
cool.
know.
But that's like kind of trendy. I've seen that before.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Maybe like IPA beer cupcakes
I
or
think
cookies.
you're onto something
I
there.
think I am.
Yeah.
See,
I would say upper echelon. I would give that like an 8.
split the
Yeah.
profits.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sounds good.
All right. Have you ever been to New Orleans? Either one of you?
No.
I have not.
They have something called beignets. Do you know what beignet
Yes.
is? Mm-hmm. So
Like a
beignet,
fried dough.
yeah, it's like a fried dough with a lot of powdered sugar. So what about a Nolans beignet cupcake?
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's a 10.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay, this is another interesting one. Thanksgiving, we're talking about holidays, right? And we have special like cupcakes and cakes. A Thanksgiving-inspired cupcake, cornbread with cranberry sauce on top of it, like a cranberry sauce, like icing of some sort. Cornbread cupcake, though. You
That sounds interesting, but
it is,
it has to
right?
be like seasonal.
Yeah, it's seasonal.
Yeah.
No,
I
that's
can't-
seasonal.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
definitely
can't-
seasonal.
So what do you think? Would you rate that one? Is it a good idea?
I feel like that's more like savory. It's not like sweet to me.
Interesting with savory because we're going to get into
Yeah.
that. Becca, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Since we have the campus dietitian right here,
Yes.
do you know what the taste savory means? Like what it is, or could you identify it?
Like on the saltier side, kind of like the opposite of sweet.
Umami. Is that
Umami.
Umami?
Umami.
Umami is the other word, right? Is that a
Yes.
Japanese word? I
Yes,
guess
it is.
So a little later in the show, we're going to be experimenting with those flavors. So you could be a part of that, Becca.
Awesome.
Okay, black and white. A few more. Black and white cookie cupcake. The black and white
Yeah,
cookies.
that's a classic.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Chocolate covered pretzel cookie.
Also a 10.
Okay. I was talking about trail mix before. Trail mix. I really thought when I thought of this idea, this whole thing, my first idea was this one actually. Trail mix cookie. You know what I mean? Like a cookie with peanuts in there, like pieces of M&Ms, pieces of raisins.
Yeah.
I never saw that anywhere. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, no, that's definitely innovative.
I'm sure you can make it easily.
Yeah, right?
I'm sure you could easily make it.
Okay. Okay. Maple syrup waffle cupcake.
Oh, I'm all about that.
Is that a
10.
good one?
Yes, absolutely.
Are you going to steal that idea
Yeah,
from me?
probably.
Okay. Okay. Because that was. Okay.
You didn't hear it here, though.
Okay, and I'm going to talk about snacking and healthy snacks a little later, but my favorite snack for some reason is like an open-faced peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So what about peanut butter and jelly cupcake? Like peanut butter flavor and some jelly, sort of like icing or something like that? Or on the
think that's
inside,
pretty
maybe on the
good.
inside, like some jelly
Yeah.
injected on
like
the
a
inside?
nice filling.
Okay. Orange peel raspberry cupcake. A little bit more of that tartness.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
8.
Yeah.
Banana cream pie cupcake.
I'll go at 8.
Yeah.
Okay, two more. I was looking for an exotic one. So acai mango cupcake.
Ooh.
You know, some exotic
I'd
flavors.
have to try that
Some
one,
exotic fruits.
You
Yeah.
know, to give it like an accurate rating.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
And then this one I put in as a segue to Laura. I had to say, let's think of a healthy cupcake. You know what I mean? So maybe like an oatmeal, like chia seed cupcake or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
8.
Okay. Or something. One of my questions to Becca is: do you ever experiment with like healthy, high fiber, high protein, no sugar, sugar free? You know, anything like that for cookies, cakes, or any of your
It's actually
creations?
interesting that you mentioned that. So as I've been baking, people have been asking me about like expanding like the menu that I currently offer. So one of them is actually to dabble with like the whole sugar-free thing. So I actually have an order coming up at the end of this week, and he's asking for a sugar-free cake. So I'm using a sugar alternative.
Ah.
So we'll see how it goes.
And what's
I'm
that
excited.
sugar alternative?
So I'm thinking like a Truvia or some other.
What about agave
flavor.
syrup? Would that count or no?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Try agave syrup, but what about honey even, right?
Honey definitely too.
Yeah.
That could work.
Because I make smoothies sometimes, and I use like agave syrup or,
Yeah.
or honey or something like that to
I'll
sweeten
look
it up.
into it.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
And what about like high protein, like you know those like I see them like you know the workout section, they have these they have very expensive like granola bars and cookies. That you see the cookies?
Yes.
They cost like $5 for a cookie
I know,
because
like
it has
the
high
Len and
protein.
Larry's, yeah.
You ever think of getting into that side of the business?
I
Like,
actually did
you
that
know?
once for a project like a while ago. I did like a protein powder cookie, and it was good. You really
Yeah.
can tell the difference, and then they're
Or
high
like a protein pudding or something.
Yeah, no,
you
I'll definitely
know?
have to dabble.
There's a
more
lot of
with
money in that.
There is. There are a lot,
And a lot of
different opportunities.
A lot of people are looking for that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
high energy, like a
Yeah,
Red Bull
for
sort of
sure.
in flavored. I'm just saying like something with high energy has a high caffeine.
Absolutely.
Like maybe a coffee cappuccino cupcake with caffeine infused.
Wow, I think you should become a baker. I mean, forget the DJ thing.
I love You know what though? But being a DJ, it's a lot of creativity, and I think
Absolutely.
I'm also a musician. I do some art and stuff like that on the
Cool.
side. But anything, all of this, I appreciate because I see the creativity that goes into it and the passion as well. So I really appreciate that. So on that note, why don't we do a little taste test right now?
Woo.
Okay. So I'm looking at, for the listeners out there, what we have here are some delicious chocolate chip cookies. And then I see
Yes.
these cupcakes. They look like vanilla cupcakes with like a rose on top of icing.
Yeah.
Then I see cake pops. And then she made these beautiful Seawolf inspired cookies with this paw print on it. So very, very cool. So
Yes.
what should, and you're going to try too, right?
Sure.
Laura? Okay.
Woo.
So
I'm
what are we
excited.
going to dive into first? You introduce
All
us.
right, so I say let's go chocolate chip cookies because they're the closest.
Mm-hmm.
So funny thing about me, I'm not super into the chocolate chip cookie. I know that's so weird.
That's my favorite chocolate
I
chip
know,
cookie.
everyone says that. So I kind of like to spice it up a little bit.
Uh-huh.
This one is a salted caramel
Okay.
chocolate chip cookie, so it just has a hint of that within it, and then it was topped with some salt.
Salted, has some
Salted
salt.
caramel, yeah.
I love that. Okay. I'm
Alright,
going to
so
dive
go
into
for
this,
it. Yeah.
this one.
Let me know what you think.
And you
Honest
try it?
opinions, guys.
Come on.
I need to get better.
There you go. Okay.
The cookie.
I like it.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Why I like it is because it honestly, for everybody out there, I'm looking at them, they look like normal chocolate chip cookies. But what's cool is when you eat into them, it hits you with a surprise because you taste like a salty kind of caramel flavor. But it's subtle though. It's subtle enough where it's not.
It's not overwhelming or overpowering,
No.
right? Okay, cool.
How'd you get that caramel flavor in there?
So I have a couple of secrets, and like a magician, a baker never really tells her secrets.
Okay.
So, no, it's a matter of using different extracts. So, and then I topped it with the salt, and salt really helps because salt tends to bring out the flavor.
I love that. Because I was saying I love chocolate covered pretzels.
Right.
So when I ate into that, it reminded me of almost like a chocolate covered like
Nice.
caramel pretzel.
Uh-huh.
Those are my favorite. You ever see those pretzel rods they sell that have all the
Yes.
chocolate? Do you ever think about doing those?
I actually did them semi-recently, not as elaborate as you were talking about, but yeah, those are amazing.
You should do those. Those
I
are good
should.
sellers. I'm
They
telling
are,
you.
yeah.
People
And they're
love
beautiful, too.
because they have that crunch. They have the saltiness,
Yeah.
and
The sweet and salty is
they look
beautiful.
fun. Let's face it.
Yeah,
Cake pop
for
is
sure.
fun. Part of the reason people eat cake pops is because they have fun.
Right, it's
Okay.
a cake on a stick. I mean, you
Okay.
can't get more fun than that.
Yeah. So what's up next?
I
for
mean,
our
we were
next
talking
flavor?
about cake pops. We might as well go with that, right?
Okay, the cake pop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely going to try it. And by the way, I'm not eating the whole thing right now, but I promise you, I'm
Yes.
going to finish it later. I promise.
All right.
I don't want you to be offended here, because I have to
No
save room
worries.
for everybody. Okay, here we go. Are you going to try
Oh,
one?
yes.
Okay.
Do you want to split that?
Oh,
That one? No?
I don't know. It's going to be hard to have your own and then save it for later. Okay. Now, just to explain to the listening audience out there,
Sure, okay.
what we have here is a very, very long stick. I would say it's about I would say that's
Like a foot?
Almost. It's
Right?
like I would
Yeah,
say it's a
it's
good
long.
10 inches of stick. I don't know how that sounds. And then what we have on is like a really inch diameter like lollipop. This is huge, chocolate covered with white. What do you call those again?
Those are called non-Perel sprinkles.
Non-Perel.
Yes.
I don't know why they call non-Perel.
I have no idea.
Because I know non-parallel means. I'm saying you always think of math. So here we go. Oh, let me tell you something. I've had lots of cake pops. This is good. This is not too sweet. I had a cake, like my last cake pop. I said I'm never gonna have another cake pop again because it was too sweet. And also, I love the chocolate on the inside. Are these hard to make? Because I can imagine.
So
what I
they're
mean?
not as hard as you think.
Okay.
Pretty simple. Just kind of
It
rolling your
tastes
cake
like
into balls.
it tastes honestly like a cupcake almost. It
Yeah,
has a
almost, for
that
sure.
cupcake flavor. And again,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna finish these
Yeah,
later.
no,
I promise
I
you.
trust you. I trust
Okay.
you.
So up next is one of her specialty cupcakes.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
So these are a vanilla cupcake with a vanilla buttercream.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have it swirled. So the treats today, I mean, I'll post them more on my handle later.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see that they're like red and black. So I wanted to keep them Stony Brook centric
Oh,
with the branding.
wow, look
yeah,
at you.
so they're twirled with red and black buttercream.
Okay. Buttercream, which is it doesn't
Buttercream.
go bad, correct?
It does. Well,
Or you could keep
after
it
a
out.
while, you
don't
can
have
keep
to
it
have
out
in the
for a while.
refrigerator,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something.
Uh-huh.
And this is like a I think this tastes good. But I always when there's too much icing, that overwhelms the taste
Right.
of cake, But the other thing, there's a donut store in Stony Brook. In Port Jefferson. Have you ever been to that one? It's Specialty Donuts.
Yes, East Main and Main.
Yeah. Have you ever been there?
I
You said
have,
yeah.
yes.
Now, one thing I think, and I'm sorry if there's somebody that works there out there, I like the donuts, but the problem is I feel like they don't put anything inside most of them. They're just like a plain batter with,
Right.
and it's just the icing that they change. And my suggestion to them is play around with the actual, the dough, the donut.
Absolutely.
Forget about all the icing. Like I could just go normally with a normal cupcake. It doesn't have to. It's just a specialty sort of. It doesn't have to be all the icing. But that was good.
Awesome.
But it's vanilla on the inside because
Yes.
you'd lose that flavor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and listen, you
Yeah,
came. You
no,
wanted me to be.
I know, I love it.
But
I
so
appreciate it.
far, everything I could taste the everything the very well balanced. And then you have
Thank you.
one. Did you want me to try that last the cookie?
Absolutely. Okay, so then these are probably one of the most popular things that I make. They're my sugar cookie, and then
Yes.
I decorate them with royal icing.
You have a specialty with that. I saw for Valentine's Day you did something
I did
for charity.
conversation hearts.
Maybe
and then,
talk about that for a second.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So part of my mission as Baking Like Becca is beyond the profit-bearing venture that I started. I also like to give back to my surrounding community. So my official mission is to bake the world a happier place because you never really know what people are going through, and a lot of people hide like their wounds and their burdens. So I want to be someone that helps someone realize that other people are thinking of them. So even though I don't know exactly what someone's going through, I'm definitely thinking of them and hoping that they're doing okay. So what I did for
You
Valentine's
mean to lift
Day,
up spirits in a sense?
Absolutely,
When
yeah.
people are down, like
Definitely.
sugar, it's just something about sugar and seeing these creations, it lifts people's spirits
Or
up.
if I can help them forget their pain for like a
Right.
millisecond, like that would be incredibly
Are you
rewarding.
saying like people that may be in the hospital or just
Anybody,
sick? Or just
anybody.
anything?
You just
Okay.
lost your job or
I
lost a
see.
loved one, like anyone.
That, yeah.
So I made cookies, conversation hearts, and I donated the proceeds to the American Heart Association, and
Right.
I hosted that fundraiser here in the SAC at Stony Brook.
Very, very good.
It was awesome.
I love when proceeds. Last show I did, I had a Sydney Bell on, and she makes these marine designs on T-shirts
saw
and
that.
whatnot.
She's awesome.
She does a great job. And that's called Title Tees, by the way. That was from 2 weeks ago, and she does a great job. And 100% of her proceeds go to Ocean Conservancy, and also saving the ocean and the animals and things like that. So I think it's great, and I think your causes are great as well.
Thank you.
And I think I see great things for you. You really have the energy I think it takes, and you're really entrepreneur. I see that inside of you.
Thank you.
And well, again, repeat for the audience. What are you in school for? You're a senior, and you're
For business and marketing.
so business and marketing. And I definitely see that you're headed in that direction. What do you want to do next
you.
year? What are your plans?
Well, I'm looking for jobs within industry to go into the marketing sphere, like work for a big company. But like
Right.
part of me, my heart's really in it for like being my own business owner. I would love that.
Like, but you said like business related to this, or something totally different.
Yeah, this.
So
because
this
I have
is
such
your
a
love.
passion for it. Yeah, I literally love it.
I mean, have you ever thought of any other businesses outside of this that have nothing to do with baking?
No, not really.
So this inspired you to go into business, basically.
For sure.
You said
Yeah.
3 years ago.
About 3 years ago.
Which I'm totally, again, surprised at because I figured you were baking your whole life.
No, yeah.
I
this
figured
is
you
a
had, like I
recent
said, that
venture.
easy bake oven and everything like that.
No.
But, you really started later in life. And what about your family? Do you come from a baking family, cooking family?
No, actually. I mean, when I was growing up, I made Christmas cookies with mom, so that was like the extent of my baking, and like we would make boxed brownie mixes, but nothing like super elaborate. This was kind of just like the creative bug like hit me in this way where it just messed with baking.
Well, thank you. And you're going to stay here with
Yes.
us because we're going to do some flavor profiles
All right,
here
awesome.
with
Yes.
Laura Martirano. And
Yes.
she's here right now. So let's just go right there. By the way, before I forget, Becca, why don't you give your social media there for the listening audience?
Sure. Okay. So it's at Bake It Like Becca. I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and most recently YouTube.
Wow. So you're all
yeah.
around.
Trying to be all around, all over the place.
And people could order for like parties and,
Yeah,
and
so
things
I
like
have
this.
this cool, fancy little Google form, which is in the link in all of my bios.
Right.
And once you fill that out, I will get in contact with you.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.